On the phone is Zac Belmonte. Is that the right name? I hope so.
Yeah,
from Young
right.
Australia.
Welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening, guys. Thanks for having me.
You're very
Always,
welcome. Now,
yeah.
can you give us an insight into what Young Australia is to start off?
Yep, so I started the group way back, I think it was early March. It was originally a conservative platform for Facebook. So personally, I have sort of moderate conservative views.
Yeah, more.
I started the group solely for conservatives.
Yeah.
In about 2 months ago, someone came up to me and said, "Why don't you guys make the organisation politically neutral?" So we encompassed everyone from
Left to right, libertarian, all those things. Well, that's good to hear. Tell us.
A few months ago, we decided to sort of steer the ship away from conservative only platform.
Yeah, going more centrist, I guess.
Yeah, so now we remain as a politically neutral group. So we accept
people of all
anyone,
creeds.
the left to the right, middle. As long as they have a voice, we like to provide a platform for them.
That's good to hear. Well, tell us a little about what you think of the election campaign thus far. Are there any standouts that you've witnessed?
Well, I was listening to your coverage before, and I think Isaac mentioned the seat of Calais.
Yes.
Which is where I'm from, Bathurst, the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party. Sam Romano going against Andrew G. At the moment, it's probably too close to call.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But if
Andrew G is on 63.5%, but they've only counted about 20% of the vote. So it will be certainly interesting. Another standout is, I don't know about you guys in Australia, but Clive Palmer.
Yes.
On high rotation. There was one the other night. He had an ad break that was 2 minutes long.
Jeez.
That went over the whole ad break. So it'd be interesting to see if they pay off for him.
Yeah, they've also been heavily hitting the YouTubes, where most of our audience actually...
Yeah, Zac, what do you think of Clive Palmer's ads? They're pretty catchy, aren't they?
I would say so.
He has a very weird audience.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the campaign, he was posting, heaps of memes, trying to attract the younger
I think he was trying to do the old Donald Trump,
but then later on he started to, I guess, wouldn't say mature, but he started to
consolidate.
Target a more mature demographic. So I'm not too sure why.
Well, I think he needs to make up his mind, to be honest.
I think that's hurt him a little bit. Another interesting one to note is Pauline.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about her. Yes, please share.
Because Pauline Hanson's, she's always been pretty prominent in all elections. It'll be interesting to see how she performs.
Yeah, well, she pops up in the news every now and then, so I guess that helps as well.
And the other night on 60 Minutes, Tracy Grimshaw interviewed her, and you actually saw her crying. And for me, is that a political...
Oh, yeah, that's the question that you ask for everyone whenever something happens, especially the last Labour president, was it?
Prime Minister.
Oh, Prime Minister, pardon.
Not in the US, mate.
Yeah, was it Bob?
I don't know. Ask the expert on the phone.
So he recently died, didn't he?
Bob Hawke died.
Yeah,
yes,
Bob Hawke, yeah.
Oh, that was terribly sad.
I think ye old Bill Shorten might be playing the crocodile tears to get some sympathy votes, possibly speaking.
It is a smart move, whether
always
ethical or not.
The emotions are always
and that's the thing for me. Can ethics and politics mix?
I think they can, but at the end of the day, whenever you see someone on screen saying, "Oh, this is a tragedy," or chances are they're playing a political move,
Zach, do you know where? So with the Greens, what is your take on the Greens?
Well, I'm not too big of a fan of them. But aside from that, they have really targeted on first-time voters.
Yeah.
So they're really relying on people like ourselves who are just voting for the first time.
Yeah, getting to know people who are just entering this political sphere. Speaking of which, I've actually got a funny story about that.
Oh, here we go, story time.
I was at the election booth because I helped out this morning, and I was standing there handing out Liberal flyers because I was there with a friend, and this guy on a green bicycle with a green hat comes past, and I go, "Good morning," and he goes, "Not even if you're the last party on earth." Doesn't look at me, doesn't make eye contact, just scoots past on his bicycle.
Yeah.
I don't take it as the party's thing, but if that's the type of people, they're aiming for, strange, to say the least.
Yeah. So, I think overall, all political parties have really tried to
get some new
first-time voter demographic.
Yeah, it's a good time for it, I guess.
I've read a stat the other day. There's so many first-time voters who are eager to
well, I guess
their concerns.
I guess following Trump's campaign in America, a lot more people are politically conscious, I guess.
Yeah.
So a lot of more people are. Number one, the younger people are memeing the campaigns. Not so much for the Australian campaign, but they are keeping an eye out on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like, years ago, young people, didn't care about politics, but, in the last probably 5 years, there's been a real,
boost.
Interest in that.
And why do you think that is, Zach? Why do you think more young people are becoming more interested in politics?
I think social media has something to do with it.
The connectedness of it. Everyone's talking about everything.
Kids are so more engaged than they've ever been. So that they see they see what's happening. Whereas 20 years ago they'd only see what was happening on TV.
Yeah, the news was for old people, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're just more aware nowadays.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about how you use your platform to not sway people, but enlighten people about political things that happen. We were talking to Katie a bit earlier about
Monique Scroon,
Monique, about free speech. What are your
thoughts on that?
Yeah.
So Young Australia accepts most opinion pieces we receive. Sometimes we have a few really extreme ones where they're just plain old racist or
really at the edge of
yeah. So we accept probably 95% of everything. A lot of because most of our audience, which I find is pretty surprising, most of our Facebook audience is sort of liberal.
Yeah.
So we're trying to.
Is it liberal as in the classic liberal, like people who are very free speech, very individualist, or liberal as in the progressive sense today, where it's everyone's a communist and that type of liberal?
Yeah, the free speech sort of type of guy. So we want to sort of increase, our sort of left wing sort of audience. So it's, balanced.
As you said, you're trying to maintain a neutral party.
Yeah, maintain so it doesn't look like we're biased as an organisation. So
And on the phone, we still have Zac Belmonte. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back, guys.
So, Zach, you were saying before how close it is. How close is it actually?
Yeah, what are your
stats?
With 25% of the vote counted, Labor's on 57, and the Coalition's 60. So
yes, that's good news.
Extremely close. 70 to win. So who knows?
Could go anyway. Still neck and neck.
Yeah. It'll really be up to the minor parties. I think. So that's probably something.
I think that might be a good thing because the minor parties are really where people's, I guess, voices come in. Because the big parties don't always have the people at heart. If that makes sense. Of course, they have the country at heart, but the smaller groups are what the people, I guess, they're the swing votes.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, our stats are still a bit behind. We are sitting at 35 seats for Coalition and Labour.
I'm going to refresh our pages so we can
probably
see.
A good idea.
Because that doesn't seem right. But anyway. But Zac, as you said before, it's quite close. Do you have a prediction at the moment, or too early to say, do you reckon? Too early?
At the beginning of the night, I've always said the Coalition will slide through. But look, who knows? It's extremely close.
I guess there's a lot of undecided voters who rock up at the booths and who are just deciding, and those are what's going to separate a coalition government from a Labor government.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to come down to.
Is there a preference you'd like that you'd rather have in power?
Not really, no. Because
neutral party.
They both, provide, benefits and...
Yeah, they're looking out for the country.
They no matter what political party you align yourself with, they all they want to, make Australia the best it can be. They just have different views on that.
What is they have different views on what is the best.
Yeah, so they all have, our best interests at heart. But I wish, because I'm only 17, only a few months off 18, which sucks.
Me too. I'm exactly the same. I felt quite upset because I really wanted to get my voice in this year.
Me too.
I'm 20, but I'm still. I get my citizenship next year. I'm not a citizen yet. I would have liked to vote, but
it just would have been so good because then I was saying to you, actually I think I said to Zac, I'm not entirely sure it was you, Zac, but it might have been, but I said to myself, I want to make an impact somehow, and I said to myself, well, I can't vote, so let's write instead. Zac, how important do you think writing is in terms of politics?
It is pretty, substantial. Yeah, so I think the most important thing in this election is the youth vote.
The new votes, which is what a lot of the parties were targeting, as you said.
Yeah, because as we said earlier on, so many kids nowadays,
getting into the politics. I mean, look at us.
Wow, look at us.
Look at us.
Yeah, so I think that's probably going to be the biggest factor.
Seeing who's what. Yeah, who's got the kids' hearts. That makes sense. What are your thoughts on some of the smaller parties, if you have any?
Probably the most interesting party is the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party.
Yeah.
The federal election, they're not that big, just because they only have a few. They've got they've got Sam Romano in the seat of Calare, but apart from that. In the state election, they gained 3 seats, and 5 years ago they had 0.
Yeah,
so
that is true.
They were, in the New South Wales state election, I think they gained more support than the Greens Party. So they are, a substantial, threat to the major parties.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Zac, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank you so much for coming on the program, and you can find out more about Young Australia on their Facebook page. Zac, thanks so much.
See you guys. Thanks for having me.